Hey everyone, this is Dave here. CVMA brother of mine, Phoenix, asked me if I can install this Tombstone Style taillight on his 1990 something Road King. So we're here in South Korea. Humidity is out of control and the weather's probably not the best in the world, but we're gonna see what we can do. When you open up the box, he ordered from, I don't know the name of the company off the top of my head, but they're all generally the same. You got the Tombstone light housing here. This is the bulb that comes inside of it. It's an LED type. The whole setup here is LED. You have your license plate bracket here that'll mount there, and what looks to be a rubber vibration isolator that goes in between the light housing and the rear fender itself. First thing to note, when I opened up the box, I saw that these bullet style lights were loose, so I dug into it a little bit, and if you remove the light amber lens there and the light bulb, you'll see a tightening nut. So once you get it fully installed, you want to adjust it so that it's the proper angle. Just remove all that, be careful while doing it, and tighten up that tightening nut. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and dig into it here and see what all we can find and plan our next step. Alright, quick note before you take out the so I've already removed this side. Before you take out this side, a technique I just figured out is to put the hardware back in about 1 or 2 threads so that when you're ratcheting on this side, it's not bouncing this guy up and down, scratching up the paint. So hold it in place while you remove this one. Once this one's removed, that one should only be finger tight. You remove that, be able to remove the whole thing. Okay, I dug into it a little bit further. It was one bolt here that was holding on the original light housing, and it had a electrical board in the back where you had to unplug these guys here. You got your right turn signal, left turn signal, your main wiring harness here, and then you have a bolt on the inside of here, or sorry, correction, a nut on the inside of here, and a nut on the inside of here, right back here. It is a 1/2 inch size, so try to get a ratcheting wrench on it. Kind of hard to get to. Once you get this panel off here and pull off the original housing, you can get a socket wrench inside there. A little tough, but it's doable. The issue that I see I might run into is once these are uninstalled, you're going to be left with a hole and an indent on both these sides that the new Tombstone light set will not cover. So I'm going to continue to remove this. I'm going to clean up the area, and there's a good possibility, because of the size, I am going to have to drill mounting hardware holes, but I'm going to remove everything, clean it up first before I make any permanent modifications to this fender. Alright, so I've reached a good stopping point here, so I can take a little break out of this 100% humidity weather, but some things I want to point out here. I am going to be drilling holes, but with the new light, this rubber vibration isolator has holes already in it, so you can line it up, see where you want it, make your marks, tap and drill. So I'll be working on that here after my short air conditioning break. But what I did find while going into this is this bracket here. As you can see, at some point in the life of this Harley, they had done some type of weld repair, didn't last. They make a bracket for this. It's a known problem. You can find it online, and it will go up inside here. It'll bolt into these, and it'll replace this. This bracket here supports the weight of the left muffler, and that's a lot of weight, so you want to keep an eye on that. Look for cracks, stresses, or whatnot anytime you're back in this area. It's a known problem, so just keep an eye on it. What I also need to do is find myself a wiring diagram, because I will be permanently splicing in the wires from the new light here into the existing wiring harness. So I'll be doing that, and I will be using, let me find them, these guys right here. So it's a heat shrink tube with solder flux on the inside and some type of sealant, that color band. So you put heat on it after you put your wires through it, it seals it, the flux melts, makes that connection, and it creates a very strong bond. I swear by these things. So I'm not a good electrician, but these things make me seem like one. Alright. Alright, so we made pretty good progress so far. I've done the first permanent modification to the fender here, the two hardware holes. I used the vibration isolator, grommet, seal, whatever you want to call it. Did that, lined it up, make sure there was no exposed openings on either side. Did my best to get it nice and even. I started off with a small pilot hole drill, and I just kind of worked my way up there until I got just slightly larger than the mounting hardware diameter. So as you see there, you want to have a drill just slightly bigger than that, so that these holes, these hardware will slide in and out without too much wiggle around. Alright, now that we have that taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and start with the snipping and soldering of wires. Good times. Alright, so some good news. All lights work as advertised, and I will show you. That's what those little soldering tubes look like when they are applied. I haven't fully mounted it yet. I was going through a maintenance check, but it looks like it's going to work. So we're going to start off. I'm going to turn her off. Boom. You see the lights are off. We're going to turn on. Lights on. Brakes. Real touchy brake sensor there. And kind of hard to see, but there's your left turn signal, or sorry, correction, right turn signal, and this is your left turn signal. Cool. Now with that being done, I can start putting it all back together. So we finally got it all installed. As you can see, the license plate is upside down, but hopefully my buddy will just get a license plate holder that can correct that. Lights work as advertised, LED. Still got your running light down there. It was kind of a pain to get the internal hardware mounted up, but managed to do it. It's probably the hardest part of this entire project. So now, just make sure those lights are adjusted correctly. Put the bags back on, put the fuse box away, clean up this ginormous mess I made in front of my apartment building, and also to create some type of temporary support bracket for that. So, yep, that is a job complete. Thanks.